Hello, and welcome to the University of South Dakota Sanford School of Medicine. We're in the Sanford Heart Hospital lobby here. We're going to be going on a tour today, but before we do, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Brian Simpson, one of the third-year cardiology fellows here. I went to undergraduate at Notre Dame, University of North Carolina for medical school, University of East Carolina for residency, and then I'll be going to Dallas at the Baylor University Medical Center for my interventional fellowship. We're going to be starting our tour down in the conference center where you'll be spending your time each morning, and then we'll be going through the care that you would be expected to do each day on the wards, followed by some time with the other fellows and finishing up with our program director. I want to thank you for your time and attention. I'm looking forward to going on a tour with you. We're here in the Schroeder Auditorium. As a first-year fellow, you'll be here once a week at 6 a.m. for our conferences. Once a month, we have our echo conference where we look at some of the most interesting echoes over the last month, and 3 times a week our invasive cardiology conference, where we conference in people from Aberdeen, from Rapid City, from several other sites, go through some of the most interesting cases in the tri-state area. As a first-year fellow, you'll be preparing many of these conferences, putting together the cases, what's important about each of them, and then presenting them to the attending who will be reviewing them with all of us together. Our next stop along the tour is going to be our sim lab, where you'll be once per month. Now we're down in our sim lab. We have access to this 24/7. This is our state-of-the-art mannequin that we do our simulations on. 1 hour per month we have time with our interventional faculty. They're going to run us through a case. We're able to do coronary, carotid, peripheral, renal cases here. During our 1 hour cases, we have our third year running the computer, and as our first year, you'll be down running the catheters and the wires through our femoral access. We have access to this at any time, day or night, and after your long day of work, if you want to come down here, practice a case, and then get some coffee, the best coffee in town is right next door to where we are here. So here we're in the Dakota Food Court, one of the best places to get coffee on campus. The University of South Dakota Medical Center has got 3 main cafeterias, and we're given a stipend that we're able to use each month for coffee, food, and things like that. I've never run out of money since I've been here on those cards. This is a good chance. There's lots of places on campus that we're able to recuperate, recharge. Cardiology fellowship is long for everybody. They make sure that they've given you the tools and opportunities to focus on what really matters. Next up, we're going to be going on to the wards and looking at the inpatient service. Each of our units mirror each other with nurses stations at the ends of each hallway and in the middle. We have excellent support with case management, nursing, as well as basically nursing directors that we direct immediately in and out. They take care of all of our day-to-day operations and help us to make sure that we're not dealing with the mundanity issues and instead focusing on the things that matter to us as cardiology fellows. Our next stop is going to be the ICU. So we're here in our cardiac ICU now. We have a 12-bed ICU, and as the cardiology fellows, we're the primary on all of these patients. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of your time as a first year, taking care of our sickest patients on Impella, on balloon pump, with LVADs, and our post-STEMI patients in particular. This is where you're going to learn how to pull lines, how to manage the complex patients. As a cardiac ICU, as the cardiology fellow, you're going to be primary on most of these patients, and you're going to be directly managing them on weekends and on nights and calling the attendings for guidance more than anything else. Our next step along the way is going to be following a patient in STEMI who's going to be ending up here on this unit. Now we're down in the ED of Sanford Medical Center. Whenever we're called about our patients, we would come down here. We have 32 ED rooms, each are private. We do have overflow beyond that as well. They're all equipped as a standard ED room would be, and most of our transfers will not end up here. They're going to go straight to the Cath Lab in the case of STEMIs, or straight to our floors in the case of NSTEMIs. For our STEMI that's coming in from the helipad, they're actually going to take the back hallway along, and we're going to intercept them along the way, and on our way across to the first floor towards the Cath Lab. A substantial number of our STEMIs are coming from outlying facilities, rural areas that don't have ability for angiography. This is our helipad right here. Our patients are going to be flying in. We're going to be knowing about them en route and preparing the Cath Lab beforehand. Once they land, they go along the back wall along the ED. We intercept them on the way and take them straight to Cath Lab. So as our fellow, you're going to be intercepting those STEMIs, bringing them into the lab, letting up, and doing those STEMIs with our attendings. We enter our cardiac cath lab. We have 12 total cardiac cath labs. 3 of them are hybrid suites. 3 of them are capable of doing biplane, and 2 of them can do EP. The rest are all single plane. We use GE, Philips, and Siemens. And as you can see, they're pretty typical standard room setups. And on this wall we have our lead. We have several leads for the fellows that you guys will be using. So after a long catheterization or a long call night, you can come up here to our physician's lounge. Throughout 24/7, they have us access to great coffee, food. They keep us stockpiled with snacks. And twice a day they have meals here that you have full access to, breakfast and lunch every day, and on weekends some packaged meals. It's a great place to be able to decompress, to sit down, to have a coffee, to talk about cases that are a bit complex or challenging for you, and to just relax for a moment. As a first-year fellow, you'll be doing most of the inpatient stress tests as well as our clinic patient stress tests as well. You'll be coming down into our stress lab where we have 9 rooms set up for you. As a first year, you'll be trained in and then be able to perform your own stresses. By the end of about 6 months in, you'll be very comfortable in managing complex patients who have the need for treadmill, dobutamine stress, as well as LexiScan, very comfortable in PET stresses as well. Managing these patients in the stress lab, making sure that they get to the Cath Lab at least once a year. We have one of our fellows catch a STEMI in the middle of a case. Our next stop along the way is going to be our clinic, where you're going to meet some of our nursing staff and seeing where you'll be for 1 day a week. So we're now here in our clinic. You'll spend 1/2 day here per week. As you can see, the clinics are set up in such a way that it's built really for the efficiency of the providers. You'll be working with usually 1 to 3 attendings per half day. We have here our phenomenal nursing staff who take care of everything for us. They're coordinating with us on future appointments, making labs work, getting all of our work done. They make our lives easy. Our next step is going to be taking a look at our fellows' office, the space that we spend most of our time throughout the day.
Hey Brian, why don't you take a break and we'll show them around here and then I'll bring them back to you when we're done. How are you guys? My name is Phil. I'm one of the cardiology fellows. Finished my training in internal medicine in Brooklyn, New York, and finished my medical school in Poland, Poznań. Let me show you around the fellow suite, starting with one of the 3 dedicated offices we have for our fellows. This is basically where you're going to be spending most of your time throughout the day. A dedicated space for yourself and the other fellows, equipped with everything you need in order to make the day as efficient as possible. Let's take a look at the rest of the suite, starting with Amy, our program administrator's office. Follow me. Oh, looks like she's in a virtual interview, so why don't we go across the hall to our fellow wellness room. Here's a dedicated space for us to kind of take a break, work out a little bit, release some steam. To be honest, throughout my interview process, I did not see any other programs with a dedicated wellness room, and it wasn't something I was particularly looking for, but having it in retrospect, it's definitely a plus. As a cardiology fellow, you'll be joining medical students and residents that join us on rotations. Here's their workspace. It's very nice that they have their own space to work and remain in such close proximity to us. And here on the right, we have our fellowship call room, where you'll spend most of your nights. It's really convenient, given the proximity, and nice to have such a comfortable room when you're on night float rotation or call. That sums it up for the fellow suite. Let's take it back to Dr. Brian. And on the way, we could take a look at the echo reading room. Here's the echo reading room, just down the hall from our fellow suite, where you'll spend some of your imaging rotation, learning and reading imaging modalities. Let's head down to the conference room, where you'll spend most of your mornings, whether it's EKG, journal club, research meetings, or dedicated core faculty lectures. But first, let's meet with Drs. Brian, Singh, and Varga. Here's the conference room. I enjoyed showing you around. I won't keep you any longer. Enjoy learning more about the program.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I felt like one of the biggest components of what drew me to South Dakota for fellowship was really the opportunity to be able to take care of our own patients. The structured guidance that the attendings here give us was really valuable to me. We take care of our own patients. We manage overnight complications, and on the weekends, we're the ones that are with the attendings doing the STEMIs, doing the emergent angiograms. That gave us the opportunity to really grow into the skills that we are going to be using for the rest of our lives. I think that for me, that opportunity to work with attendings who have the ability to give you structured growth, where they give you less and less direct oversight over time, was something that really gave me a real knowledge that this was the right place for me.
Yeah, for me it was mostly about the interventions, about the procedures. I visited multiple sites throughout the US, and I never interviewed at a place which offered anything similar to this place with regards to interventional volumes, procedures, exposures, and autonomy during those procedures. I can tell you guys that there are certain aspects of cardiology which in most programs you will never ever do as a general cardiology fellow, just an interventional fellow. Here I was doing it during my first year in November, and I found that unique.
Yeah. I'm never going to forget the first STEMI that I was allowed to wire. That was month 11 as a first year. I thought that was a really unique opportunity to be able to do.
Yeah, that kind of the same scenario happened with me in the first 6 months. And I think most of us, we rank this place really high because of the interventional volume, opportunity to have real hands-on experience, not just on the papers. It was interesting to see right away in the first Cath Lab block, and you're doing almost around 50, 60 angiograms, and you're like, wow.
50, 60 in a week maybe.
Yeah.
Per week, yeah.
The learning curve is really steep. So the first year is more about clinical experience with some exposure to non-invasive, that's Cath Lab, and then the second would be a Cath Lab invasive rotation. And as we progress, the second year is more about your personal growth. So the rotation that you want to do, and I would say inculcate or increase your procedural skill. And then third year is more of electives, and you know where you're heading, so just maybe direct your course in that direction.
So I think one huge benefit of working here at a university setting is that we're given the opportunities to shape the residency and the medical school. We have resident and medical student on our clinical rotations every month, and we are expected to teach and to guide them in their training. We're actually given the faculty position of clinical instructor of the University of South Dakota. That's not just an honorary statement. We're actually teaching them. I think 2 weeks ago I was down in the sim lab for the medical students, helping them with their first OSCEs. And I know that you were down there teaching them EKGs the other week.
Yes, basically as second and third year fellows, you will be given the opportunity to go to the medical school building. I went, I think, 4 times or 5 times, and you will be teaching medical students how to read EKGs, how to auscultate different murmurs, and multiple other interesting things. For example, simulations. You will be evaluating them during simulations, clinical simulations of cases.
The amazing thing is that this doesn't get in the way of our actual learning.
Yeah.
These things are built into the curriculum. So we have these opportunities because we've made space in the curriculum. We don't miss out on chances.
And they are paid too.
They are also paid in addition, yeah. So if there's one thing that I would want you to know about this program, it's that this program is for you. It really has been geared to make sure that every fellow that comes in gets what they need to become the physician that they want to be. This does not need fellows. They do everything around you. You're not here to save the clinic from overpopulation. You're not here to run the hospital. You're here to learn, and that focus is evident in every step of what they do.
There is, to a certain aspect, what program can offer you, but it's more about what you can extract out of it. There are opportunities there, but you have to be proactive and extract them out to the best of your benefits.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to go on this tour with me. I hope that you've gotten a small taste of what Sanford Medical Center and the Sanford Cardiovascular Institute is all about. I know that this program is a very good choice, the top choice for many people, and I hope that we've given you the clear impression of what this program is all about. I know our program director is extremely excited to speak with you, and I hope that he is able to give you his mission and what he sees each of his cardiology fellows going and graduating with. I want to thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Hello, my name is Adam Stich. I'm a cardiology programs director. We hope you enjoyed your tour of our most excellent facility. We hope you will consider us strongly in your application process for cardiology fellowship. Our faculty, our fellows, our staff hope to see you here one day. Thank you.